What's going on, everybody? This is Nick from House of Paint 203, bringing you the third and final part of the Young Gold Dragon series. We have been doing some interesting things on him thus far. We base coated him in Gehenna's Gold, and we gave him a two-tone wash. We washed him with crimson on the wings. We washed him with green on the scales to create an interesting effect. And then we went back into the scales with some more of the original base coat, Gehenna's Gold, to kind of bring back that gold tone. And in this part, we are going to finish him up with some highlights of polished gold, as well as bring out some detail in his eyes, his claws, and of course, his base and belly before we wrap this up and call him done. So a lot of work to do. Let's jump right in. As always, I want to give a special shout out to friend of the show, Dominic Marriott, owner and founder of Credit UK, all the way across the pond in the UK. Dominic is a crafter of dice trays, dice boxes, dice vaults, dice towers, you name it. Dominic makes it. You need to check out his stuff so that you can up your game at your gaming table as soon as possible. Also, while you're here, be sure to smite like and slam subscribe so that you can stay up to date on all the content that I am putting out there in my quest to paint the manual. And of course, here we are on the Young Gold Dragon. I'm going to be starting him off with a highlight. I'm going to be dry brushing him with a highlight of Polished Gold by Vallejo Game Color. And already got it in the palette, so I'm going to put it on the dry brush and get it started here. And I'm going to start off on the wing. So let's check out these wings here. All right. Try to bring out this texture. He's already doing a nice job of catching the raised areas. So I'm going to dry brush first. I may go in at some point with an applied highlight of the polished gold in certain areas. Such as on the spines. It's doing a pretty interesting job on him, however, so far. And we're looking for that extra sheen. That's a pretty interesting effect that it's having. Certainly bringing out the goldness. And load up some more on the brush. Maybe get some more of the palette too. Get up on his face here. You can see the, really see the effect it's starting to have, especially on the horns, the kind of edge highlighting that it's getting, the natural edge highlighting that it's getting up on the horns there. Again, my hope for this is that polished golds adds a little bit more of a glint to these scales. Certainly the membranes up here. I may have to go over the spines with a lightly applied highlight. And maybe this area too, because this is curved. So I definitely want those. Definitely want these scales to pop. All right, so let's take a look. We got our number 2. Number 2. And going back here with that number 2, I just kind of start. Neato. Try to go over the leg scales. I'll try this, like kind of like a wet dry brush. I'm gonna use this side of my brush to kind of try to graze over the raised areas. I'm not trying to go too crazy here. Specifically around the curve of the tail. Let's try a dry brush on those legs as I just throw him everywhere. Okay, he's a little brighter. And the polished gold is not gonna appear to give me too harsh of a contrast, so I'm happy about that. I'm gonna graze the rises of these spikes. Hit the areas that the light would hit. Could be a little tedious and time consuming, but it's definitely worth it. Side of my brush to catch the raised areas here. I think that's enough on the wings. Okay. All right, we're cruising here. We're cruising. Let's go into... All right, let's go into his belly. Originally I used khaki as a base coat. And now I want to mix, I'm gonna do about a 50-50 mix of khaki with some bone white. All right, and since the light's gonna be, really your focus on the model is gonna be this way. So really, this is the only portion of the belly that you're gonna see. So I'm gonna make the light source kind of come in from this side. So I'm really just gonna focus up here. Like that. And I'm gonna give it I'm gonna give it about a minute, and then I'm gonna go on top of that with a pure bone white. And the belly will be done. I'm not gonna focus too much on the belly because, again, like I said, he's gonna be like this, so really you're not gonna see too much of the belly. It would make sense that the outside of the other side of his belly wouldn't be too light, because it would be obviously away from the light source. So. And let's go right into bone white. really only the areas that the light would hit, so. Belly's done. All right, so I'm going over the eye here with a little bit of polished gold. All right, using some abyssal black, I'm going to give him a pupil right now. Hit his nails. Right, so his eyes are done, nails are done, polished gold highlights are done, belly is highlighted. I think all that's left is his base. I base coat the base with a heavy brown by Vallejo Game Color. Make sure I get it all up in here. I'm going to try and avoid the grooves for his feet. I'll get the top, but I definitely want to avoid the inner areas to the best of my ability here. So psyched that this base actually kind of came off. We were able to detach him. Heavy brown as well. So always fun. I'm gonna drop that there. We'll let it dry, and then we'll give it a wash. All right, gonna go in here with some Seraphim Sepia, another shade by Citadel. Recesses here. Some time to dry. I'm gonna go in on the base here with some heavy brown as well, just to kind of give it just a quick overcoat. Base on right there. This stuff sticks very quickly, so you want to get it on, and you want to try to not get it on your fingers, because even though it does come off, it's very, very sticky. Yeah, it should be good. Still not completely dry, but it is adhered, so it's not going to do any moving So now I want to go in and check out what I can do with this base. And he is going to be sitting like this. And gold is going to be sitting like that. So before I glue him down officially, I want to get his base going here a little bit. So I'm going to be using the back of an old brush to kind of guide my effects here. So I think I'm going to lay some rocks down. Maybe I'll do that first. So a couple of stones here that I kind of want to just lay around. So I'll pop this one here and squish it. You've seen me use these, but I'm using our Battlefield rocks by the Army Painter, and they are these in particular ones are brown rocks, and they're kind of rubberized, so give a nice little effect. I used these on my young copper dragon as well, and I'm trying to use the entire base that I have here. So I feel like really, you know, you could really get a lot of use out of your base, and it could really add to the overall allure of a model. So what I'm using now here is a environmental effect called Summer Undergrowth, also by the Army Painter. They look like little rubber pieces of broccoli. And using these because I want to give it the impression of kind of a like a watery type environment. Again, I want it to make it look like the young gold is hanging out by like a riverside or something, kind of lush with vegetation. So these are kind of, you can manipulate them around however you want. Kind of pop them around the box like so. And this is what they look like. You get them in something like this, and they have varying shades of green. So I'm going to try to do my best to create like kind of a mixture of, you know, dark green and almost like this lime green here. This side, pop this one. I'm using the back of an old brush because this glue is incredibly sticky. So scattering it around, I'm going to use some moss green. I'm trying to get some on the stones. On the outer portion of the base. Moss green is a little bit finer than the field grass that I used on the young copper. I feel like the moss green is, or would be, a little bit more prevalent to the environment that we're trying to create here for a young gold, which is again the more like watery type environment. field grass down might look like. Sprinkle it in. I think we're ready to pop this young gold on here. So to pop him on, I'm going to add my glue to the crevices on the model. And onto his feet. I'm going to stick him down where I need him. All right, I am ready to declare him finished. The young gold dragon. Second dragon on the channel. Following up the young copper. Information on how to follow me is immediately following the video, as is information on how to follow Dominic Marriott of Credit UK. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you for the next one.